To put into legislation that people should not be able to get out of poverty using their home. They're way out of touch.
I understand the intention of the restrictions, but I don't think they'd ever really work that way. I think they'd only condemn these properties to just waste.
Because this isn't the 50s. Who actually stays in a home for 30 years anymore? Especially considering the demographics we're talking about here. If you were to prevent people from building up any equity unless they stay in a property for 30 years, well, what's the only alternative? You either stay in the property for 30 years and take all the equity, or eventually you move and you lose the equity, or you default and you lose your mortgage, or you become evicted. I mean, that's absolutely the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
For me, it's like an investment. I mean, that may mean the college or the university of my daughter, at some point in our lives. So I think that's a little bit too much, like 15 years, 30 years. Like, life changes, circumstances change, and at some point you may want to go to another place or use that equity, for something else.
One day the time will come when I can't stay here anymore. I mean, I have to decide I don't want to have another baby because, I mean, what am I going to do, sleep on the balcony? What happens when you don't get anyone that can purchase your place? They never answer those questions. I'm not going to leave here empty-handed. I'm not going to leave here with nothing, and 5% isn't going to cover the cost of a real estate agent. 5% isn't going to cover the cost of all of the paperwork that has to be done for me to try and sell a place.
The consequences on these folks are so negative and so bad that they can't move, they can't get anywhere, and what happens to them actually if they ever do sell, they have to be their own realtor, they have to sell, they have to go through all this. They're not trained for that. Nobody is. They go back into a rental has to be an affordable rental once they move, and just recycle people in the same system, expand this gap between rich and poor, and grow this underclass. That's basically what it does.